and run for office. Now, former CIA officer Abigail Spanberger announced her candidacy in July for Virginia's 7th District, a congressional seat currently held by Freedom Caucus leader Dave Brat, and she joins me now. Great to have you with me. And Abigail, let me start out here about health care. First, I want to ask you your reaction to President Trump's condolence call to the controversy about Gold Star families, and then we'll dive into the bill after that for the ACA.
Great. Well, thank you for having me on, Thomas. You know, I'm really disappointed, frankly, that the death of a U.S. service member would become such a political issue. For me, this is really a time for us to be mourning that soldier and expressing our condolences to the family. And I think it's unfortunate that as a country, you know, we're doing anything other than that.
When you think of the lingering effect that this has about a divide created between those that are civilians and our service, how can we fix it? What will be your answer to constituents, you know, in the 7th District of Virginia?
Well, I think that we've seen so much of a partisan divide. There's so much rhetoric coming out of Washington, and it truly is divisive. It's tearing our communities apart, and it's not productive as we're looking at what sort of bills can move forward in Congress and how we can move forward as a country. So I think this is yet another example where issues are becoming political issues that really shouldn't be. They should be issues that as a community we can join together and express our condolences. As a country we can join together and express our condolences. And I think it's unfortunately another example of the sort of rhetoric that we see coming out of Congress at this time.
Well, I guess some people can take a little bit of ease thinking about what this means in terms of the ACA and a bipartisan effort to create some unity on this with Lamar Alexander and Patty Murray. We had Chuck Schumer, who was on Meet the Press earlier today, to discuss this new bill, and I just want to play for everybody what he had to say. Take a look.
This is a good compromise. It took months to work out. It has a majority. It has 60 senators supporting it. We have all 48 Democrats, 12 Republicans. I would urge Senator McConnell to put it on the floor immediately this week. It will pass, and it will pass by a large number of votes.
So if the president was to suffocate, basically, the funding for the ACA and help for the insurers to defray certain costs, how confident should Democrats really be that Mitch McConnell is going to move forward with this?
Well, I'm glad that you're talking about this. For me, and you mentioned it in the lead-in, the day of the House health care vote was really the day that I definitively decided to run for Congress. As a former CIA operations officer, the entirety of my job was ensuring that the president and policymakers could make strong and informed decisions. And what we saw back during that vote was that Congress was pushing through a bill without so much as a Congressional Budget Office score. And that really ran antithetical to everything I had ever worked for as an operations officer. And right now, when we see the type of rhetoric and the type of divide coming out of Washington, I'm heartened to see this bipartisan effort to be put forward in the Senate, and I'm hopeful that we'll see forward movement. You know, we really need to make a strong effort to stabilize the insurance markets and to keep costs from going up even more than they already have.
We know where Dave Brat kind of stands on all of this. How do you think constituents are going to take your opinion and where they have just put him into office recently?
Well, you know, across the 7th District, as I've traveled to meet people across our district, health care is really the #1 concern that people are raising. And it varies. It's people concerned about rising costs. It's people concerned about whether or not they're going to lose their coverage of pre-existing conditions. It's people concerned about their children and their children's health security. And so it was a very unpopular vote when he voted for the House health care bill. And people are coming to me with their concerns. You know, we had in Virginia just recently, we had a large healthcare insurance provider announce that they would be leaving the market, and they based their decision on the instability caused by all of the rhetoric coming out of Washington. They've since reversed their decision, but you know, for the time when we thought that they were actually leaving, there were people across the district, when I would go to events and meet and greets, who were really very frightened. They were looking at losing their health insurance and didn't know what would come next.
Well, the Virginia 7th delivers some surprises, so we shall see how it goes for you. Abigail Spanberger, thanks for being here. Good luck with your run.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. We have much more coming up in the next hour. Stay with me.